find peer support. Find someone who's achieved the results you want to achieve, copy what they do and achieve the same results. Anthony Robbins, American writer and coach. And when you go blind in New Zealand, of course, going to the Foundation of the Blind put me in touch with lots of blind people. At first I didn't want to be in touch with lots of blind people because I didn't want to be blind, so I didn't want to associate with blind people. I didn't want to be like them, I just wanted to be me. But I soon realised that blind people had personalities and were individuals and were also loads of fun. I met a man called Peter who was a volunteer services coordinator at the Foundation of the Blind. Some of you may know him. Peter's got prosthesis for his eyes and he currently wears power eyes, but he's got party eyes and Highlander eyes. He's got blue and gold eyes, different colours because he's a rugby supporter. And I remember listening to the rugby with him one day, went into the staff room at the Foundation of the Blind, and I thought we were watching TV, but it took me about an hour to work out we were only listening to the radio. It was radio commentary. Peter had some tartan eyes, and I said, oh, I didn't realise that you were, had a clan, because I know that he's Ngāpuhi. And he said, oh, yeah, it's McDonald's. And I said, really? And he goes, no, the restaurant. So he was loads of fun. I met a lady called Jill who lives in Gore, and we picked her up for a Braille tea party down in Invercargill. And on the way back she said to me, can you drop me off at Pinegold Guinness? And we said, yeah, that's, I wasn't driving by the way. We dropped her off at Pinegold Guinness and I said, what are you doing there? And she said, I'm just picking up my chainsaw. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I met Jock, who went to an Association of Blind Citizens conference with me in Auckland. Now Jock is a man who's 6'4", I think he is, and he mows his own lawns. And he takes one shoe off and leaves one shoe on so that he can tell where he's mowing or he's been with the lawnmower. And I thought, I had to have a conversation with him because I said, my family don't think I can mow the lawns and quite frankly I'd like it to stay that way. So that's okay, they didn't get that one. That one hasn't been let out. I found myself at the Association of Blind Citizens conference in New Zealand in October 2001. And it was great to be with other blind people because I just found it really inspiring watching other blind people and seeing what they could do and not having any limits around what they could do. They'd been blind for a lot longer than I had, so they'd certainly had a few skills under their belt. We had a speaker come to speak to us who was a blind mediator, and he was tired of people calling him the blind mediator. He felt that his skills as a mediator should speak for themselves and that his blindness had nothing to do with it. His friend said to him, get over it, use it as your marketing. And that struck him and he thought, okay, so now he promotes himself as a blind mediator. And I liked that concept. So I came away thinking, well, if he's the blind mediator, how could I use my blindness to promote myself? And it was not long after I'd gone blind that I was in a shop and a man turned to his wife behind the counter and said, there's that blind girl I was telling you about. And I thought, oh, I just wanted the ground to open up. I didn't want to be referred to like that. I didn't mind the girl bit. And I thought, oh, well, if he's the blind mediator, maybe I can be that blind woman. So that's why I've got that blind woman on my top, and that's my website and my brand now. So I celebrate the fact that I'm blind and who I am, and it's been a really important shift for me. So magic happens when you get people together. Julie was a professional speaker and coach. Key number 3, write your own rules. Shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Lester Lewis Brown, American journalist. I was at my sister's one day, and my son Sebastian was about 10, my cousin was about 10, and they were outside shooting hoops. And I came outside and I said to them, basketball hoops, and I said, what are you doing? And they said, we're shooting hoops. And I said, can I have a go? And my son thought better of it and didn't say anything. And my nephew said, but you're blind, Auntie Julie. And I gave him my so what look, and I said, give me the ball. So I took the ball, and off him, and I threw the ball up into what I thought was where the hoop was. I could just make out the contrast of the board and the sky. That was all I could see, moving shapes and contrast, no detail at all. So I threw the ball in what I thought was an educated guess towards the hoop. And to my surprise, and theirs, it went in. And I was like, wow, and they went, wow, could you do it again? And I said, nope. I knew that I would do it once. I wasn't sure I could do it again. But I thought, what was it that made a 10-year-old boy decide what I could and couldn't do? Why was it that he wrote my rules? Surely it was up to me to write my own rules. And I felt very strongly about that it was me who decided what I was going to do and not other people. I had a blind friend who also felt like that. Her name was Jasmine. She was a university student at Otago. She was very Braille literate. She learnt Braille at the age of 3. She was taught by her father. She was Vietnamese and went blind through English measles at the age of 18 months in a refugee camp. She came to New Zealand with her family and ended up receiving the highest mark in history, bursary throughout New Zealand. She had a photographic memory, or has a photographic memory, if that's possible for a blind person. She wanted to learn how to cook because she was at St Margaret's hostel and she wanted to go flatting. And her mother believed that blind girls shouldn't be in the kitchen. So as a consequence, Jasmine didn't know how to cook, and she saw that I cooked, so she asked me if I would help her. I said, of course. So I invited her and some other blind friends and their guide dogs up to our house, and we started cooking in the kitchen. She said to me, I said, why don't we make bangers and mash? It's a good student meal. So we did that, and I gave her a potato and a peeler, and she said to me, which way do you hold the potato? And I thought, this is going to be a long night. So I said, well, you just hold it the long way so that you do less peeling strokes. I had to come up with something that sounded semi-intelligent. So we peeled the potatoes and put the sausages in the oven. An hour or so later, or 3/4 of an hour later, we came out to check the sausages, and I took them out the oven and I said, look, you just turn the sausages with a fork, and you just put your fork underneath the sausage and you turn it over so that they're brown on both sides. So as I was doing this, the sausage left the tray and bounced onto the floor. Well, we had about 3 or 4 guide dogs there. So they were all scurrying with their chains and claws and trying to get to this hot sausage. And one of the dogs got the sausage, which was great for that dog, and it ate it. And then about 30 seconds later, it realised that it was hot from the oven, and it vomited it up on my living room floor. So I was like, oh dear. So that's what happens when you write your own rules. So we had our meal that evening and had lots of fun, and Jasmine went on to go flatting and cooked for herself and for her flatmates. So she's off now, and she's just recently had a baby, so that's pretty exciting, and we're watching her. So don't be limited by the limited imagination of others. Julie Wood's professional speaker and coach.